Hello, my name is Tony Kempson, and I am a technology instructor here at the Ultimate Medical Academy. Today, I am going to be conducting a tutorial on MS Word functions, such as opening, creating, and editing and saving MS Word documents. So, what do you say? Let's get started. Today, we will preview opening an MS Word document. We're going to create an MS Word document. We're going to edit a Word document. We're going to format a Word document, and then we're going to save it, right? I know it sounds like a lot, but it really isn't. And these are very basic functions, but we're going to go a little bit into detail into some of them, and just to give you a well-rounded and well-balanced idea of how to do these functions, okay? So let's get started. So what you see on your screen now is my desktop. And what I mean by that is when you boot your computer up and turn it on, you'll have a desktop. Down at the bottom is what your tray, which you'll have different startup icons down here. And typically you will probably have a lot of icons up in on your desktop. I don't have anything for this one because I'm doing this tutorial. So I just wanted it to be plain and show our brilliant name of our excellent institution. Okay. So as you notice here, there's a blue arrow. Now, this little button down here that looks like a little flag, what that is called the start button. It's just little four little squares, may have different colors on your screen. But what you're going to do is you want to hit that to open up the ability to go to where your apps are and your programs where you can find words. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to minimize the screen really quickly. Here we go. And I'm going to hit the start button on our my screen. Once I hit it, you'll see that there's menus here and there's all of your apps and programs. So they're in alphabetical order. So all you're going to do is you're going to scroll down till you get to the W's and you're going to hit Word. Now, I'm not going to hit Word because I already have a Word document ready. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to close this. We're going to go back to our PowerPoint. And what I'm going to do is next to the next slide you'll see is what you'll see once you open it. So you hit Word and now you'll see this. Notice that the arrow was pointing to a blank document. Now there's many things that you can do in here. If you notice, these are all different type of templates that you can use, and there's recommended things that you can use, things that you've had uh, used recently. But there's more templates that you can actually click in over here. So let me get my pointer back. Once I get my pointer, because I like to have the red pointer using it. Now, because I'll be going back and forth between the actual Word document to show you things and the PowerPoint. So here's templates over here, more templates that you can use. But for the purposes of this tutorial, what we're going to do is just open up a blank document, right? So once you open up this blank document and you open it just by clicking on it, you're going to click on it. And what will happen is you will see, once I get there, there we go, you're going to see the ribbon and the document underneath it. Now, the ribbon is made up of two parts, basically. The top parts up here, where it says File, Home, Insert, Design, Layout, and all across the top, those are called tabs. So those are tabs, and each tab has a group of functions that you can use. So for this particular tab, the Home tab, it has your clipboard, and there's a lot of editing tools that you can use in here. Has a clipboard for copying and pasting, a font group to be able to use to change your font and format your font, edit your font. A paragraph group. This is great for formatting your paper and editing your paper as well. A style group, depending on what type of document that you're trying to create. And then there's editing, where we'll get into this in a little bit more detail. Voice, if you want to use that function, sensitivity, and editor. Okay, so these are the things that you will see. Now, going back really briefly to our Word document, here is the ribbon up here. Okay, now for the purposes of this tutorial, I started a document. It's a fictional document, The Theory of Medical Evolution and Product Labeling. Is halfway fictional and halfway true. So I just wanted to start something. I didn't want to have a full document because I didn't want to confuse you or have too much stuff going on the screen at one time. Okay, but this is what your ribbon looks like, and these are some things that you can do, right? And remember, I told you the font group of how, and if you put your mouse over the names or over each one of these little icons, it'll tell you what they mean, right? Or tell you what they do. Okay, so let's go back very briefly to our document. So now that you understand a little bit about the ribbon, what we're going to do is create a document. Now, we've already opened the document, so we got to name it and we have to do some formatting and things in there. The things that we're going to use are clipboard, which are we're still going to be in the home group. We're going to use the home tab, the layout tab for the majority of what we're going to do today, and we're going to use the clipboard group in the home tab, the font group, paragraph group, and the editing group. And I'll go into a little bit more detail in all of those. Okay, so let's go ahead and edit this document a little bit. Okay, we're just going to do a little bit of editing to give you an idea of how things work. So let's just look at really quickly. What if I wanted to have this right here, the title, and see how it's highlighted right now? All I did was put my mouse over at the left and I held down the left mouse button. I scrolled over the title and then I let it go. Now notice when I let it go, I'm gonna do it again. When I let it go, you'll see a small editing bar that comes up. And these are some common functions that you can use. It's not the same as this. It's basically it is, but it's just a shorter version of those things. But let's see what we can do. Now, in the paragraph group, I might want to, sometimes I might want to put my title over to the left. Let's look at the paragraph group. If I wanted to align left, I would click on this icon here and see what it did. It moved it. Now it still stayed selected. So then you can do some other things with it. What if I wanted to bring it to the right? Let's try that. Moved it over here by clicking on this align right icon or button, if you will. Now, what we'll do is, what if I wanted to, let's bring it back to the middle. I kind of like the middle, but maybe I want to change the font size a little bit. So look over here in the font group. Up here, you'll see the type of font it is as well as the size. So it's 12 right now. Let's see what 14 looks like. So notice I just put my mouse on it, or the mouse over the number 14, and I didn't click on it. It will change to give you an idea what it looks like as you go through. See, I'm going as big, I'm not clicking it, and that's small. All I'm doing is scrolling across them. 14 is a little too big. Let's stick with 12. So we're going to keep it at 12. Notice that it's still highlighted. So what about bold? Look at, let's bold it. That adds some flavor to it. Maybe we can do italics. These are these into the font group, bold and italic. Do I want to underline it? No, I don't think I want to underline it because that doesn't look pretty good. What if I want to strike through a word? What if I wanted to say written by, maybe just use this word and put a strike through it? See what it did? This is the strike through function in the font group. There's a lot of different things you can do in the font group. I'm going to take this off. And all you have to do is uncheck it. Once you check something or click it, it'll stay highlighted. And then to undo it, you just click it again and it'll undo what it did. I kind of like this italicized and bolded title, so I'm gonna leave it like that. But what if I misspell a word? Let's just say buy, and I put, instead of buy, I put, I just misspelled it with a W or whatever. It's gonna come up with a little red line. That line lets you know that you misspelled a word. So what you can do is you can right click it, right? And if you right click it, look at the tools that you have. It's a spelling tool. You can say, are you trying to say buy? Are you trying to say buy in this way? Buys? No, we're going to just use buy. So I can click it and it changes it back. You also have the option up here in the top above the ribbon that it'll show suggestions and different editing tools as well in your editor. Okay, but we're not going to use that for this. So now we've done some things in the font group. We've done a little bit in the paragraph group. What about if we wanted to find out where we had a word? Maybe this was about a 20-page document, and we wanted to look for certain words. Well, look at this cool feature that they have. We can click up here on Find, and it'll bring up a little navigation tool over here. So let's just look and see. We want to have the word solve, S-O-L-V-E. it will find every instance of that word in the document so that you can find it and then go right to it and see what it where all of them are. Okay, that is an excellent tool to save a lot of time and to help you be more efficient and effective when you have large documents. So those are just some cool things that you can do to edit. Let's look at something else. Let's go back to our she's hardworking doing her editing. Now let's go to formatting. Now this is some other cool features that you have. Let's open our document back up. Now we want to format. So now this is where we're going to go to the layout. We're going to go to layout. Now look what you have in the layout. What if you need to change the margins? If you click the button, you'll see that you can use normal margins, which are typically 1 inch all the way around, top, bottom, left, right. Narrow margins. Now watch when I click on it, it changes, you see, because the margins change. So then we'll go back up here. What if I wanted wide margins? Look at that. So my margins are way over here. That's what brought all of the information in here. So depending on how you want your document to look, this is one of the things that you'll use. And so I'm going to keep it here at normal. But what if we wanted a different orientation for our paper? Look at this. Right now it's in portrait, but if we wanted landscape, look how it would look, right? So you can choose between portrait and landscape. What about the size? What size paper are you using? Are you using a letter? Are you using legal? Okay. So the different types of paper, you can even use envelopes and different things, right? What if you want to put some columns in there? You can have one column, two columns, three, and if depending on what you're working on, right? Page breaks, indenting, right? What if I wanted to indent this? So you highlight it, and then if I wanted to indent left or right, I can put it in it and it moves. See? So those are some tools that you can use as well. Okay, those are some excellent tools to use. So let's go back. And what is next on the agenda? Let's see. Let's go to our PowerPoint. And we just finished with our formatting. So now we're going to save our document. Now we're getting ready to bring it home. This is important. So really pay attention to what we got going on with this. Now, this document is already saved. Now I want to show you something up here in the top of the ribbon. You can see the document is already here. The Theory of Medical Evolution and Product Labeling. That's the title of it. And if you don't save your document in a specific file name, it will use the first sentence up to a certain amount of characters of your document and call it that. So I just left it that way and saved it. So this is already saved and it's saved on OneDrive. OneDrive is if especially in Office 365, OneDrive is a cloud-based, meaning online-based program or platform that allows you to save your work in the cloud. If you've heard of that term, in the cloud, so it allows you to save your work in the cloud. That way, no matter where you are in the world, if you have access to a computer that has access to the internet, you will be able to log into your OneDrive account and access that document. And this is how you do it. Now, if you look up here, you'll see autosave. That's how it happens. You don't even have to save it because it'll automatically save. Watch this. And I'm going to show you something. Keep your eye up here where it says saved. If I just change one thing, I took that off. Now it says saving. You see that? It says saving, and then in a couple seconds, it'll say save, just like that. But we're going to go back to put NG back in there. There it goes again, saving, and then in a couple seconds, it'll say saved. And once it's saved, you don't have to click save or anything like that. So once it takes a second or two sometimes saving, and so it's going to save. So what you do to save a document, let's go back to the home screen. When you're saving a document, what you're going to do is click on File. File will bring up this screen. Remember, this is the screen that we use to when we first opened up our blank document. So now what we're going to do is we're going to save this. Now you don't see the word save because this document was already saved. Typically, you would see save as or save. But because this document was already saved, I'm going to say click save a copy. It's going to give you the same thing. This information is going to be the same. What you will see up here when you save your document, you're going to see save as, okay? Save as or just save. So what you want to do, you'll see OneDrive up here. What I recommend until you get familiar with using OneDrive and using and saving your documents, I would go down to Browse, click Browse. When you get here, then you'll see on the left where there's an organizer, you'll see quick access. These are the things that you have accessed most recently, right? But once you scroll down, you'll see OneDrive. So what I do, everything under OneDrive, I typically put in documents, right? So I am going to put here documents. I am going to add a title to this, one underneath it because it or next to it because it already is saved. So this is going to save a copy and call it a different title. So now the file name is the title. In your case, you might want to change it to your whatever your document is or whatever you want to call it that you're working on. And then the save as type, you need to make sure that you're saving it in the correct format because you can actually change this. If you come over to the pull down menu here, it gives you a list of things. You can change it to a different version of Word, or you can actually save it as a PDF, a portable document file, right? So we're going to just leave it as it is as a Word document. I just wanted to show you that so you'll be mindful of it. Okay. So now that we've done that, we've saved it. And here's the file path. Look up here in this address bar right here. It's in OneDrive folder, Ultimate Medical Academy in documents. So now what I'm going to do is click save, and it's going to bring us back to our document. All this is saying is now autosave saves your changes. So as you make them, you don't have to do anything. You can click this box to where it shows you don't have to see it anymore, that box anymore. It's up to you. Just click got it, and it brings you back to your document. Okay, you see how that works? So now you've saved the document. You've done quite a few things today. So let's go back to our PowerPoint and then we're going to wrap up with our summary. So today we opened up a Microsoft Word document. We created one. We made some edits to the document. We performed a little formatting and then we saved it. It was a pleasure to make this tutorial for you. I hope you found it helpful. Please have a wonderful rest of your day and thank you for your time.